Hey there, I'm Tony DeCopel. This is The Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, an artist who's worked for award-winning TV shows but never appears on screen. She still makes a lot of noise, literally. Also, a group of young cowboys riding on inner city streets. They may look Western, they're not Western. Can you guess where they are? We'll tell you. Plus, two chess champion brothers who say their goal is not the awards they take home, but what they in fact give away. And Steve Hartman is the subject of his own story this week. He says he's reluctant to accept a new family member, but it didn't take him long to be won over. All that and more heartwarming news. You know what you're watching? The Uplift. Hi there, welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes. You, I like to say me as well. And let's all begin with Steve Hartman admitting to us that at one time he had built a wall around his heart, reluctant to let in a certain kind of love. Well, a new family member eventually broke that wall down.
No parent has a favorite child, but my kids are convinced that I do.
Ready.
And they have a point.
Good girl. I'm so proud of you.
I adore Birdie. Although, as my wife Andrea loves to remind me, getting the dog wasn't exactly my idea.
He did not want the responsibility.
That's
he did
true.
not want the hassle.
Yep.
He did not want the money.
Okay.
He felt like our lives were full already.
They got
He
the
felt
idea.
Everything was going to fall on him.
Point made.
And I just decided that I was going to do it by myself.
She went rogue and got this Australian Labradoodle. I didn't touch the beast for weeks.
And he was kind of just like being critical.
But eventually the bond between him and the dog strengthened.
But didn't want to let any of us know that because of his pride.
Yeah.
All true. It's embarrassing to admit now, especially to her face. But I take comfort in knowing that I am far from alone.
Not long ago, we put out a call on Facebook looking for other formerly reluctant dog dads. We got hundreds of replies about guys who fought getting a dog tooth and nail.
We had a new house that had hardwood floors.
We had white carpet.
Can't really take them with you on vacation.
Just really kind of a nuisance.
But, like me, each one had a profound conversion.
He kind of stole my heart. We go everywhere together.
Definitely the best thing that ever could have happened, that's for sure.
Men do have soft hearts. It's just sometimes it takes a fur ball to crack through that hard-headed, practical outer layer. Dogs can do that. In fact, it's one of their best tricks.
It's almost like dogs know who they have to win over.
I hope that this piece encourages all the dads out there on the fence about getting a dog to listen to their wife.
Mm-hmm.
Good suggestion, guys. Otherwise, one day, you may be forced to do the unthinkable.
I had to say, I'm sorry. You're right.
I hate to admit it, but she was right.
I'd have to say she was right.
And I suppose I should now join that chorus and tell my wife I was wrong. But this isn't Mother's Day. Steve Hartman, on the road with my loving family.
We introduce you now to an 85-year-old man who witnessed 61 years of history from a grocery store in Pennsylvania. Waukesha Bailey has his story.
Rich Cerwanka has been a fixture at Acme Markets since 1964.
Back then, you had to learn how to bag. We had to go to bagging school.
Then he was only 23 years old. Kennedy was president.
When I went to work that night, everybody was saying about when Kennedy got shot.
Rich started stocking shelves on the overnight shift.
And at that time, we had maybe 10, 15 guys on night crew. And as the years went on, we started losing guys.
For nearly 50 years, he's worked nights, never losing his eye for detail.
Make it all straight. Bring it all around.
Has it changed a lot?
Yes, yes.
He took pride in the small things, like cleaning floors.
Because when you walked in that front door, that floor would shine like $1 million.
In his later years, he moved to the front of the store and into his favorite role, a cashier.
I really enjoy talking to people. Sometimes it's with pleasure when you get up in the morning, you're going to go talk to somebody.
After losing his wife of 49 years in 2015, his co-workers became family. He played Santa at Christmas and never missed a day during the pandemic.
What do you think you're going to miss most?
The people.
Customers gave him cards, hugs, and singing, celebrating his 85th birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Richie. Happy birthday to you.
His secret to fulfilling a career, his teammates.
And how long have you worked here?
52 years.
I worked here 42, it'll be 43 in October.
47 years.
After 61 years, 7 months, and 24 days, Rich clocked out for the last time and left us with this.
Acme family, I'm walking out the door for the last time. I'm very happy that I worked with you all these years. So everybody have a good day, God bless, and long life.
Coming up, meet a woman who won an Emmy Award for the series Shogun. She's not on camera, very much behind it, making a lot of noise, quite literally. Vlad Dutier has that story next. And later on, David Begnaud shares not one but two powerful stories. One about two chess champion brothers who have won countless trophies and awards. But it's what they give away after the tournaments that makes them stand out.
You don't always have to spend for yourself if you don't need anything, and you can spend it on people who actually need help.
Our next subject worked on award-winning TV shows like Ted Lasso and Shogun, and if you watch these shows, you didn't actually see her, but you certainly heard what she does. Here's Vlad Dutier with the story of an artist who creates sound effects.
A car door, a rotary phone, and an old Barbie doll may not appear to have anything in common.
So if they crack knuckles, I could just use their knees.
But they're all props favored by Foley artist Sana Kelly.
I did not know anything about Foley when I first started doing it. I was really confused that this was even a job.
That job is to envision how to use items like these to create everyday sounds that you hear on television and in film.
If someone's walking, someone put their hands down, scratching their hair, touching keys, that's all Foley.
Kelly is prolific in her field, with an extensive list of credits including Ted Lasso, Only Murders in the Building, Shameless, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the critically acclaimed series Shogun, which won her an Emmy.
I had to learn to re-walk. So basically, to shuffle your feet and not move in front of the mic was really difficult. So the way to do it, if you get your knees and put them together, and then you could do little scuffies. And anytime they go like this with their arm, I have to do cloth for it. Anytime they sit, cloth. It was just so detailed.
You put as much thought and consideration into how to replicate these sounds as actors do and how they deliver their lines.
Yeah, we're like acting with sound.
To give people a peek behind the curtain, Kelly started posting her work on social media. Her videos have raked in millions of views.
Were you surprised by the level of interest that people had in what you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm like, are you crazy? Why are you watching me work? What's wrong with you? And they're like, what's the most unusual thing? I'm like, everything is unusual.
Born in Morocco, Kelly moved to the United States at a young age and originally wanted to become a doctor.
It was just like, you know, math, science makes sense. Art wasn't my thing.
While pursuing a medical degree and working as a barista, she met her ex-husband, a sound engineer.
He's like, you know, you should come by the studio and, you know, see me work. I'm like, oh, okay. So when I went to the studio, he had a full post-production place and I saw him do Foley. I'm like, oh, that's really great. So I picked up the yellow pages, called every studio in the area in Studio City. I'm like, I make a really good coffee. Would you mind if I come and sit down and watch? I got a million no's. And one studio said, sure.
Welcome to my playground.
Eventually, she traded a science lab for the Foley studio, using everyday objects to create completely unrelated sounds. Here, a bag of cornstarch becomes snowy terrain. A small pine cone turns into the sound of scattering bugs. And a creaky chair turns into, let's just say, intimate noises.
But it sounds better here if it's against wood, right?
I even got to try some Foley myself.
Make your ocean.
Make
Make
my
your
ocean?
waves.
Okay, here we go. Right?
Yeah? I want a sound of like, you were trying to create it with a sword, like a whoosh sound.
Like a sword slicing through the air?
Just.
Right?
There you go.
Do you ever stop and think to yourself that when you imagine your life, that this wasn't the career that you imagined?
I do think a lot about that. I started, to be a doctor, and somehow Foley pulled me back in. I am very thankful. A door closes just to have another door, another window. Everything happens for a reason.
Coming up, Michelle Miller takes us to Fletcher Street, where kids saddle up and ride horses. Not out west. You might expect to find these cowboys somewhere else, not here. It's an inner city neighborhood in the Northeast. Find out more in a moment. Here's an old saying for you. There's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a person. Michelle Miller found that's true, and she found it in an unlikely place.
On the streets of Philadelphia, you may be surprised to hear horses and see who's riding them.
They make me feel like I'm tall.
Andre Baker is just 10. And sitting atop his favorite pony, Pandora, changes his whole perspective.
Well, I'm learning how to ride something that's way stronger than me, bigger than me, that I probably can't control, but now I do.
Wow.
Because these are wild animals.
Here on historic Fletcher Street, nestled in North Philadelphia, the opportunity to saddle up in the sport of kings doesn't cost Andre or his family a thing. At Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club, young people like Andre learn to take care of themselves and their community by learning to take care of horses.
Good boy.
The goal here isn't to keep kids off the streets, but to teach them to ride roughshod over their fears.
The horse knows if you're scared.
Yes.
All I gotta tell myself is don't freak out, or the horse is gonna freak out and I might get thrown off.
Hoofsteps have echoed down Fletcher Street for over a century in this unique community of urban horsemen that endures to this day.
Would you consider yourself a cowboy?
No, I'm not a cowboy.
You're a horseman.
I'm a horseman. See, put your hands.
Ellis Farrell grew up just steps from the stables and has been riding here almost as long.
This is my passion. I'm 86 now, and this is what keeps me alive.
How long have you had a love for horses?
All my life. I always wanted a horse, so I said, well, as soon as I get me a job, I'm going to buy me a horse. And then I ended up with 23.
23 horses?
Yes.
A few too many for Farrell to ride all alone, so he decided to share his herd with kids in the community and quickly saw how the horses helped them.
Talk to him.
Farrell, who's affectionately known around here as L Dog, founded Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club in 2004 and built this barn on what was literally a pile of manure, transforming the land and the lives of neighborhood kids who've gone on to become jockeys, trainers, police officers, even an NFL player.
Gotta get some help.
L-Dog was an inspiration for the 2020 Netflix film Concrete Cowboy. Isaiah Blackwell watched that and wanted to give this a try.
When I first came around, I was afraid of everything. The horses, the neighing, the snorting, every movement, because they're big animals. They're unpredictable.
But then she fell in love with this one-eyed horse, Victory.
Like, say if I had a long school week, I come down here and it helps me clear out my mind. It's therapy.
It's your therapy.
It's my therapy.
This fall, Blackwell will become the first member of the club to go on to college. But despite raising about $150,000 a year in grants and donations, L-Dog fears the club's future could face new challenges as this neighborhood changes.
Sooner or later, it's going to be gone.
So to make sure the tradition rides on once he's gone,
Yeah, she don't like.
L-Dog has begun handing the reins over to his son, Darren.
All of this is soon to be all yours.
Who wants to continue helping the next generation.
They're learning.
They're learning.
Learning about life. We don't just teach horse, we teach life.
And how to reshape their futures with so much riding on it.
If I get on a horse and ride, it'll probably make my day.
Coming up, David Begnaud has some great stories for us. One takes us to Wyoming, where David introduces us to a pair of strangers who bonded over a car accident.
I didn't think anything was possible for me, for someone like me, like that.
Good deeds are contagious. And I think that's true of all of us. We all want to help. We all want to hold the door open for someone behind us. It's how communities are built.
Viewers like yourself are constantly sending David Begnaud story ideas for his Dear David segment on CBS Mornings, and he found two stories with similar themes, a theme of giving. Here they are.
Before I tell you about how these two became friends, let me just say that it would be hard to find a more extraordinary way for two total strangers to wind up here. This past January, 16-year-old Gracie was heading home from church on an icy road in Cheyenne, Wyoming, when she realized
I had no control of my car whatsoever.
I turn and I look, and this car had just slid into us.
the first thing Brian Pedersen did was check on his kids in the back seat. Then he got out to meet the driver.
I see a tag that it's one of the tags from the local high school to park in the high school. And, oh, this is a young kid.
He was really touched by the fact that she was so concerned about the minimal damage to his car, while her car had just been totaled.
I felt helpless. I felt really attached to my car. It was like something I worked really hard for and something I wanted to use so that I didn't have to trouble others with like rides to work, rides to school too. So I was devastated.
The story could have ended there. But that night, Pedersen couldn't shake this nagging feeling.
Something deep down said, we gotta do something to help her.
So he started making some calls.
And I found out she's, of course, a good student at her high school. She works at a hardware store where she paid for that car herself.
He asked friends for donations on Facebook. Little by little, with a few $1,000s of his own money.
You wanna check it out a little bit?
Yeah.
Pedersen raised nearly $14,000 to get Gracie a new car.
I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what to do, because this is such a huge gift, obviously, and I had no idea how to express how much it really meant.
I said, you'll know when you see it. It'll be over the next 20 years, and there'll be some opportunity. You'll be able to pay it forward in the manner in which it presents itself.
Now remember, he's the victim. He didn't have to do this, but he felt a moral obligation to make sure that she entered the next chapter of her life, knowing that sometimes, somewhere, she will always be able to find support where she least expects it.
I didn't think anything was possible for me, for someone like me, like that.
Good deeds are contagious. And I think that's true of all of us. We all want to help. We all want to hold the door open for someone behind us. It's how communities are built.
Doing good feels good. And that kind of joy is downright contagious. And the best part of it all is that it's never too early to start, as our next story out of Seattle, Washington shows us.
Once we started winning more money, we always spent it on ourselves.
Vivon and Sarong started playing chess as toddlers. Their home in Washington State is filled with trophies and medals. But their biggest accomplishments are not what they take home. It's what they give away.
Now we realize that there's a lot of kids and adults in need, so we try to donate most of the money now because we know it's not just about us, it's about others.
Others like 10-year-old Atlas, who has been suffering from chronic pancreatitis since he was 4 years old. And with no known cure for the disease, his condition has only gotten worse.
He was in the hospital 17 times over the last 12 months. I would say that we were at probably the lowest point that we've been since we've been on this journey.
After hearing about Atlas through a mutual friend's fundraiser, the boys had an idea. If either one of them won money at their upcoming chess tournament, they'd donate it to Mission Cure, an organization working to find a cure for pancreatitis. And that is exactly what Vivon did when he placed first in his section. It was a no-brainer for him.
You don't always have to spend for yourself if you don't need anything, and you can spend it on people who actually need help.
$225. Not bad for a 7-year-old, but for Atlas,
someone had actually donated that was like a kid and didn't spend on something else, like was really meaningful.
I built all of this.
meeting these big-hearted brothers for the first time was priceless.
It was a spark of hope that was really needed during a very dark time.
David Begnaud, batting cleanup for us. That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, watch again. Reruns remain completely free. Press play. I'll find some good news.